how to become a life coach and get paid. We've got 7 steps on exactly what you need to do. When we can live life on our terms, on a holistic level, taking into account not just our business lives, but also our health, all of our relationships, from friends, family, to our partners, the world changes. All right, so congratulations for exploring, looking at becoming a life coach, and how do I dive into this and how do I get paid? Well, I can tell you that in some cases it can be extraordinarily lucrative, but you've got to be really good at what you do. I actually am in a spot where I charge over $1,500 an hour for the people I work with, but the outcomes I drive are well worth it. Now, most people don't start, and I didn't start anywhere near that. Most people don't, but it really is going to help you to figure out what it is you want. So it's possible, but the first step we're going to do is identifying what are your motivations. Why are you doing this? Now, you may say, wow, well, I want to make big money. There's nothing wrong with that, but I can tell you that that's probably the wrong motivation to be a great coach. I love making great money, but it's not my primary motivation. Without a doubt, my primary motivation is helping people to become better, for them to realize their potential, and for them to break through ceilings where they get stuck. Now, for me, it helps me understand this, and I get to charge more because there's more and more demand, and the outcomes I provide are worth huge dollars, millions and millions, to a lot of the people I work with. I've been able to work into that specific community. But for you, you need to make sure you're crystal clear on what your motivations are. What I mean by this is, if it's only about finances, I'm going to encourage you to do something different. Because if you're only looking to make money at it, probably not going to work that well, because people will sense it. For you to be a great coach, people have to sense that you genuinely want to change their life, that you want to be there and you really want to help them, and that you can do it, and you can do it well. So if you want to start with trying to identify what your general motivations are, you're welcome to go to our website at lifeon-yourterms.com. It doesn't cost anything. You go through and there's a tool about halfway down that's called the balance wheel. And you're welcome to go and you can print it out or go through. It takes about 6-7 minutes, and it'll give you your results. These are somebody else's, but it'll give you immediate results so you can see where you are today, and then define where is it I want to be tomorrow. What is, in a year from now? What would amazing look like for a year from now? And this is how you can actually start to physically start to smoke out what are those motivations. So once you start to define, hey, this is what I want my life to look like, these are my motivations, great. Then you can look and say, how would being a life coach fit into this? And then you can start backing into what you need to do. Excuse me. All right, so when the next step, so first one is for you guys, you need to really define what are your own motivations. The second is, why should someone trust you? I'm not trying to be flippant, but if you're in somebody else's seat, all right, well, why am I gonna hire you? What is the problem you're solving? And this is where you need to invest that time and energy to be really clear on what problems are you solving, who are you working with, and why should they trust you? So if, for example, you've been through some health scares and you have that experience and you know what it's like to go through here and come out there, all right, that has a big thing. If maybe you're an at-home parent and you've gone through, or a single parent, and you've gone through the transitions of having a child by yourself, huge opportunities there. That's something I don't understand. For me, I started my first of 16 companies when I was 19, so I have a lot of experience. I've helped hundreds of business owners transition from small businesses all the way up to billion-dollar market caps. That's a space that I understand tremendously well. And because of that helps. I have a lot of experience in it personally, but then I've also coached a lot of people with it. And I have a bunch of testimonials, so there's a social proof around it. And I have a bunch of different certifications that'll allow me to say, wow, okay, I understand this guy. They'll at least let me talk with them. And then as we talk, then it helps establish more trust, and we figure out if we're going to be able to work together. So, old COVID cough, sorry. So first is, what is your personal motivation? Why are you doing this? The second is, why is somebody going to trust you? What is the experience you're presenting? How are you coming to the table? What are these different pieces? Now remember, even if you're young, it doesn't mean that you don't have the experience. If you're a couple years out of college and you found a job that really lights you up, well, maybe you're great at helping people find jobs. helping younger people. But think about the demographic you're going after. Now, the third thing is you're probably going to want to get some form of a certification, something that says to people when you're working with them, this is something that I'm a professional in. I chose to invest time and energy myself in making myself better with this so that I have the tools so that I can competently help you and help you become stronger in what you want to do. And again, this is an area that we do actually offer certification at lifeon-yourterms.com. You're welcome to go check it out. If you have questions, please reach out. All right, the fourth thing is when you start doing this, even if you don't have a certification, but ideally you have something, is start practicing. Give it away if you have to. If this means that you say maybe you're starting and it's your first at-bats with these things, fair enough. Talk with your friends or people who might need your help and say, look, I need to work on this, and if you're up for it, I'd love to give you a session on me. The only thing I'm going to ask is if you like it, hey, help me out with a testimonial, and if you think anybody you can refer, fantastic. If not, no worries. But for you to practice. I literally have tens of thousands of hours of facilitation under my belt, so I'm very, very comfortable in those areas. And I found my tongue and I can talk through it, and there's rarely a situation that comes up that I'm going to get stumped. But I had to start somewhere. And when you're starting, make sure you're practicing. Be there, help people. And here's a little side secret. When you're working with somebody, the key to success is just to be ultra present with them. We are craving that as a society right now. Coming out of COVID and everything else, if you can be ultra present with people, it's going to help them more than you can imagine. So practice, be present, and really, really help solve their problems. All right. Once you start doing this and you're like, okay, I think this is real. I like this. And this has got some real juice. Fantastic. The fifth thing you need to do is to start making a plan. How are you going to intentionally build your business? And I've got a whole other channel with another course called The Aspiring Solopreneur at aspiringsolopreneur.com. But we go through and we talk specifically, we invest a lot of time and energy in figuring out how to build and vet an idea, to define what is your ideal product or service, then defining how do you build a team of advisors at no money, and then how do you very safely transition. But you need to have a very intentional, proactive plan in how you're building it and how you're going to launch your business. All right, the sixth thing, this is silly, but it's really, really important. If you're starting a business, it's the person you saw brushing your teeth in this morning who's 100% accountable for where you are, both the positives and any of the challenges. So the sixth thing is you got to be accountable. You have to own it. You don't get to blame anybody else. Now, there may be outside things that happen. In fact, I promise there will be. But you need to figure out, how can I own this? How can I wade in and do a great job with these things and be accountable across the board? So being accountable. And then the last thing, the seventh point, is to have fun. If you're having fun doing what you do, there's an old adage that says if you love what you do, you don't work a day in your life. There's a lot of truth to that. It doesn't mean you're going to love every aspect of it, but how you choose to look at it is up to you. And making sure that you have fun, when you do that, you're going to do a lot better job. So when you think about it, how can I become a life coach and get paid? Well, the first thing is go through and define what are your motivations. Why are you doing this? The second is establishing why should people trust you? What are your areas of expertise and why should they trust you? Third thing, do some form of a certification. Fourth thing, practice. Be present and be there and change people's lives. When you decide that this is what I really want to do, dive in and build a plan so that you know without a doubt it's a no-brainer and you're going to succeed. Lastly, or be accountable, and then lastly, have fun. So ideally, you found some value with this. Check out all the other videos. We've got lots and lots of videos on all these channels that can help you in these areas. If you have questions or comments, please let us know. Subscribe and share it on. Thank you very much for investing the time.